This scene has been repeated more than 3,000 times in Duval County alone, and before the end of the day, 5 more children will enter Jacksonville's foster care system. In Florida, a child is neglected or abused every 4 minutes.
I need your help on this one. Can you take in this kid, even if it's just for tonight? All right. No, I understand. Okay, thanks anyway.
Called tow truck calling, after the method an emergency auto service uses to find the nearest help for your road emergency. Calls for a suitable foster home starts at the top of a list and continues until a placement is found.
We've got a little girl here who could really use a place to stay, and you know, you've always been so great in the past, and okay. You're already full. Right. Thanks anyway.
Unfortunately, this is an all too common experience for a child entering the foster care system. In 1997, the Florida legislature privatized the foster care and adoption services in Florida. In part, this decision was made to streamline the foster care and adoption program, making it more community-centered and community accountable. In July 2003, transfer of this community responsibility was awarded to Family Support Services. Children enter the foster care system when adults in their lives create an unsafe environment at home. Whether through drugs, alcohol, neglect, or abuse, the majority of our children are under the age of 12. They didn't ask to be put here, and they certainly don't deserve it. In Jacksonville, we try to find the first placement for our children in less than 3 hours, but it doesn't always work that way. And during this time, our children sit and wait. Often they're scared and they don't understand what's going on. All they know is they can't sleep in their own bed tonight.
Once a licensed foster home is found, the caseworker will take the child, no matter the time of day or night, and leave them. To the child, this is just one more new stranger in this new chapter of their life. This would be terrifying for anyone, but especially for a young child. We could do better for Jacksonville's children.
How would you want it for your kid if they got removed from your home, they went to the next family on the list? Maybe it's not the right family. Maybe there's not a match for them. If we had a little bit more time and we could get them testing and we could get them medical records, they'd go to the right home and they'd go to that home first. And they wouldn't have the disruption that comes when you're pulled out of your natural family home, you move to another home, and then still another home because we didn't make the right selection first.
All children entering foster care are given a full physical and psychological assessment. If a child enters placement after hours, the caseworker will pick them up the next day. The process of assessing a child can involve being shuttled to up to 4 different locations. We need to do better for Jacksonville's children.
It's extremely important to us in law enforcement because we have to have somewhere to turn when we have these children who we certainly cannot release them back to some of the parents that are out there. And that's why it is important, I think, to have one singular process.
One of the things that we know as people in child welfare, that when you remove a child from their custodians or parents, we have harmed that child. There's no question about it. The interesting thing is we actually harm the child less in some situations by removing them from abusive situation. Now that child that's removed is going to have a very difficult time. We need to make sure that that child is placed appropriately. One child, one placement would be the goal.
Sometimes the match between a foster child and a foster parent is just not a good fit. Statistics tell us that 1 in 5 placement fails. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with a child or the foster parent. It's just a bad fit.
Where is the model for successful child services assessment program? We found ours in Orange County in Orlando, Florida, on the campus of Great Oaks Village, a leader in foster care since the 1920s.
What's unique, and I've had an opportunity to work both in Jacksonville, Tampa, Tallahassee, and here in the Central Florida area, is that this program has some of the quality features that I think are remarkable.
Located on one beautiful campus, you'll find a full assessment center and age and gender appropriate group cottages for short-term or long-term residency. Great Oaks Village is a partnership of the state of Florida, Orange County government, and the community of Orlando. Orange County government invests roughly $2 million a year into this program.
These investments pay off, and we see productive citizens who go on to great roles in this community.
You have to know what the child needs. If you properly assess a child, then you can properly place a child. Without that, you're putting maybe a star in a square hole, or you're trying to cram a circle peg into a triangle. You need to know what you're working with.
Jim Adams has talked about, with me, about an assessment center that would be able to identify the needs, so that first placement that we have for that child is the right placement. And those custodians, those foster parents that get that child, know the child's needs so they can meet them.
I looked at Orange County and at Great Oaks Village as a model for Duval County. 100% of their children graduate from high school, and none of their children are involved in the juvenile justice system. Not so here in Jacksonville. These are not those children or their children. They are Jacksonville's children, and they are Jacksonville's future. An assessment center located in a central area would have all the resources that our children need in one location under one roof. This will significantly reduce the trauma, the confusion, and the fear that these children face during those critical hours away from home. A facility that is properly equipped to care for the children can make all the difference in a child's life.
Fortunately, the Jacksonville area is one of the leaders in the state as we speak, and there's an opportunity to be a leader in the country.
Our children deserve the best, and with your help, they'll have it.